Okay, 2C. It's a trinomial. First thing I want to do is take a look, is there anything common there? And I can tell right away there isn't, because first of all, the x is not common to all three terms. And then the coefficient here on the x squared is just 1. So there's nothing common to all three of those terms. So that's it. So now, to be consistent with what I've set up before, I'm going to multiply the x squared by the negative 100. So I'm really looking for two numbers whose product is negative 100x squared and whose sum is 21x. Okay? Now, this probably isn't totally obvious right off the top of your heads here, because you think about factors of 100, and most of the time we go to, for example, 10 and 10, okay, 20 and 5 here. But in this case here, you think a little harder about it, you should see that it's going to be 25 and 4, okay? But remember the sign here. This is negative 21. So when I add the two terms together, okay, when I add these two terms together here, or sorry, I should say it like this. The product here is negative, which means one of these two numbers is positive, one is negative. If the sum is negative, it means the larger one is the negative one. So it's got to be negative 25x and 4x. Sorry, that comma is way too high. So now, I'll write out my binomials. And remember, the two numbers that I found here, the two terms I found here, those represent the outside product and the inside product of those two binomials. Okay? When you multiply these two binomials together, the first two terms, okay, or the first terms from each of these two factors has to have a product of x squared, which means really those have got to be x's. There's no other choice here. And then the product of x and the last term here have got to be negative 25x. So there's the x, which means over here that has to be negative 25. The product of this x and the last term of the first binomial has got to be 4x. That's what I said. That's what I discovered here. Well, there's the x. So over here, this has to be positive 4. And so in factored form, the expression I'm looking for is x plus 4, x minus 25.